to be an easier way for me to do that. I gotta fade it out manually every time.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a way. I'm gonna have to take it and like upload it into like a music editing program, and then anyway, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I'm Tony,
And I'm Tralana.
and we're here in our beautiful suite at the hotel, filming this from the comfort of our hotel bed.
It's delightful.
Yeah, it's a little chilly. It's tough to get the audio right because I got the air conditioner blasting in my face, but it's fine. So we had a weird podcast last time because it was like we had to kind of re-record half of it.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully this one goes without a hitch, and we have the good audio equipment, and you don't have a microphone wrapped in toilet paper.
Yeah. That's always a good thing.
Yep. So we were going to start off by talking about COVID, right?
Yeah. I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah, you and I have different experiences with COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. Why don't you go with your, like, how it affected you? I mean, we could talk about how it affected us, interweave that in. I mean, not that it really affected us, but it did. I don't think you and I would have met if COVID was a thing.
Really?
Well, the whole podcast that we started on was born out of people's boredom. I think Sean did that whole thing. You can use your voice. You don't have to shake your head. You can agree or not agree.
I disagree.
Okay. Well, I think Sean started that as a way to do something outside of his work.
I know the reason why he started that, but I don't want to say.
Okay. Well, anyways, so you go through your COVID experiences.
Sure. Well, so actually, when you put it that way, I think that we may not exist for other reasons if COVID hadn't happened. So for people that know me or like whatever followed my story at all, I got divorced during COVID, and that may not have happened at that time if it weren't for the additional strain that COVID placed on things. So in that sense, we might not have happened because of timing of things and whatever if it weren't for COVID. But for me, COVID, I mean, I don't know. So for me, COVID wasn't, I guess, as life-changing as it was for some people. I mean, okay, so with school, it changed a lot because we were obviously initially just shut down completely and doing absolutely nothing. And then, like every district across the country, we had to scramble and figure out how to teach virtually. And so we, hurried up and got devices out to everybody and started teaching online. And I actually personally spearheaded a lot of things because for those of you that don't know, I work with students with disabilities, and they all have what's called an IEP, but it's an individualized education program where we give them extra supports and services to make it so that they can be successful in school. But when you take those supports and services and apply them virtually, that's often hard because, as an easy example, students that are deaf or hard of hearing, you obviously in person would use microphones and things, but when you're just passing out laptops and, going through Zoom or Google Meet or whatever you're using, that's harder to meet their accommodations and their needs. So I took it upon myself to like spearhead making a list of apps and programs that would benefit students with different disabilities, and I compiled a whole list, and I actually presented it to the Pennsylvania State Education Association, and they went on to use my document to train other teachers in the state and elsewhere how to accommodate students during the pandemic. So that was something cool that actually, well, now people know that I did, but I didn't affiliate myself with that at all because I don't like that kind of attention. So most people don't know that that was something that I did, but that was something that I personally did during COVID. And then once we started going back to school, I mean, masks were a big pain and enforcing masks, but otherwise, my COVID journey, so to speak, was very short lived because we were out and shut down and then virtual and then back in. And, then it slowly just kind of ended for me. Whereas, like, for you, it's very different.
Yeah, I came from a city that was one of the, the highest rates. You had New York, most of Florida,
Yes.
Chicago, um, bigger metropolitan areas. But yeah, COVID for me was awesome. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Not the disease itself, but the work from home. There's nothing worse than driving into the city and out of the city and spending 30, well, it was $27 a day to park on top of the gas and the time, and I wouldn't be caught dead riding on a train. No thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do trains. Trains or buses. I don't do them.
Mm-hmm.
Too many crazy people.
Right.
So many crazy people. Crazy drunk people at
Even
all
better.
hours of the day.
Even better.
Like, they would. I didn't even know you could eat and drink on the Metro until I saw, like, people with bags, paper bags, with like 6 packs in them. Just tall boys, just all hours of the day. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think in my industry, most of us are more productive from home. So the model was proven. Once COVID happened and everybody went home, it not only was the model proven that we could be more successful, more productive at home, but it shined a light on how most people are useless. Like, in the chain of command, when you work in a corporate office structure and everybody has 7 bosses that they have to report to, when you're working from home, you're not underneath that microscope anymore, then you start to realize, what does Chuck really do? And everybody's like, I don't know, he's been here for 7 years. We don't, but what does he really do? And it's not, he doesn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good, as long as you're not Chuck. If you're Chuck, it sucked. But everybody else, it was great. So outside of the social aspect,
Mm-hmm.
which was hard for me, but from a work standpoint, I saved so much money on gas and parking.
Well, but even from the actual disease standpoint, we both had very different experiences because
Oh yeah, it's fake. No, I'm just kidding.
I you got COVID early and I got COVID late and
Yeah, I was early to the party on that one.
yeah. And when you got it twice maybe
Maybe
ish.
they say I didn't. I think I did, but
Yeah. Well, didn't you test positive twice?
I did. I tested positive, but the doctor said it was such a low percentage chance to get it twice within the year that it was most likely a false positive. And then I was kind of like, well, then what the fuck's the point of taking the tests if you're telling me it's a false positive? Um, but we're gonna say I did.
Yes.
We're gonna say I did.
And I only ever had it once, but my instance of having it was literally one day of feeling semi crappy, and then 2 days later, I took a test just for shits and giggles because there were a lot of people around me that had it, and my test came back positive, like an at home test, and that is my COVID story. Like there's nothing to it, whereas you got really
I
really
got
sick.
fucked in the ass on that one. Yeah, well, okay. So the first time was March of 20.
20.
No, it wasn't that earlier.
Oh,
It wasn't like at the
the very beginning.
very beginning.
Got it.
It was March. No, it was October of 2020. Somewhere
Sure.
later in 2020.
Sure.
And what happened? So here's what happened. I took a nap, as I usually do,
Mhm.
and I woke up and I had a Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull.
Mhm.
And I drank it and I was like, man, this is flat. This does not taste good. So immediately my mind is jumping to holy shit, I have COVID.
Right.
So I grabbed the first thing in the kitchen, which was an apple. And I was like, can I taste this apple? Can I taste it? And I was like, yeah, no, that's an apple. It was fine. So then I went out and leading up to that, I had like some nasally cold issues, which isn't, you know, I'm in a perpetual state of sinus and whatever allergy issues. So I said, hey, make sure you make that one strong. I got to wipe out whatever this sinus cold is. And I took a sip of my drink and it was water. And then I did a little taste test with some other things and immediately stood up and went, I have to go. I can't be here. Went home next day, went to the immediate care to get the rapid test. I didn't even leave the fucking parking lot. Like I was pulling out after they swabbed my brain, and like I'm pulling out, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's positive." Yeah, like they put it in a baggie, and we're
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, that's positive." Um, but that was it. Taste and smell. I didn't have any lingering allergy, sick, cold. That was it. And
Mhm.
I thought I was lucky with my pre-existing conditions that's the only thing it was. But here we are a couple years later and I still can't smell. I still can't taste most things.
Right. Which is absolutely because, like I said, when I had COVID, I still didn't have any of that. Like, or if I lost taste and smell, it was so minuscule that I didn't notice it. Because, like I said, I had one day where I spiked a fever, felt a little bit like crap, the whole nine. And then by the next day, everything was fine. And like I said, the only reason I even tested is because being a teacher, there were a shit ton of people around me that tested positive. And so I was like, out of, being responsible, I'm just going to do an at-home test and, make sure that it's not that and whatever and I work 2 jobs, so I have the propensity to be a super spreader. So I was like, let me just go ahead and, make sure. And sure enough, it was COVID. So, but I didn't do any of that stuff. But I had, just like that. Like it was just the little sniffles for a day with 1 day of spiked fever, and then I moved on from it. And then you got it again too.
Well, the second time was the sick. I was sick,
Yeah.
legitimately. I was in bed. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to do anything. Nothing, thankfully, nothing respiratory,
Mhm.
because that would have been bad.
Yes.
But, I was run down, tired. And at the time, I was like, there's no way. There's no way I got it again. That's crazy. And then I took the, I went to the immediate care and got tested again. It
Mhm.
wasn't like,
Well, so
and
now
at home.
I have a question. Did you ever test in between those 2 tests to see if you tested negative?
Yes.
Oh,
So,
okay. I just wanted to make sure.
yeah, I had to go to a wedding,
Mm.
and not the only, but so that everybody felt good about it, I got tested so that I could have the negative test.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't one of those like weird things where like, because I heard that could happen to some people where they had like an extended positive testing, for weeks or months after the initial. It just they never stopped testing positive. So I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something like that for you.
Yeah, I did test negative. I think it was for a wedding. But yes, I did. So, I was on steroids for a very long time, like
Mhm.
months, which is not good. Not supposed to be on steroids that long. But steroids are like, to an asthmatic, they're like, it's cocaine to me. I love steroids. I feel like $1,000,000. I could run a mile. I could run a mile. Like that's my
That's
that's
your
my bar of greatness.
pinnacle. Yeah.
The pinnacle of my current physical conditioning. I could run
A
a
mile.
mile.
Yes.
Let that sink in. A mile. Um but yeah, months. It wasn't until I, I don't know if I was still on them when you and I started talking. I might have been.
I have no
I
idea.
might have been. I was on them for a while. Yeah, COVID sucks. I mean, what a trip. I wouldn't wish it, obviously,
No.
but it's wild. Putting shit in your mouth and knowing what it's supposed to taste like.
Mm.
And you're like, where's this going?
I was like, where are we taking
Yeah.
this?
Yeah,
All right.
put it in your mouth. And then you don't know what it is that you're tasting. You know what it's supposed to taste like.
See, and I think that's the wild thing for me is that would be so very beneficial for me because there's so much like junk food that I love that if I couldn't taste it, I wouldn't
Oh, I know.
keep eating it.
I know. The only time I eat junk food is when I'm with you.
Yeah. So, I mean, that would be such, I mean, like I don't want that, but like, at the same like on the same note, like it would be so beneficial.
We had Five Guys
Yeah,
earlier.
for dinner. Yep.
I love Five Guys.
So do I. It was my pick.
You know what I could taste?
What could you taste?
The pickles,
Uh-huh.
um, the ketchup,
Sure.
and
The salt.
oh yeah, well, absolutely. Everything is salt
Mhm.
to my mouth. The fries, obviously, the salt, but the Cajun I could kind of taste.
Mhm.
But yeah, other than that, it was a big ball of wet mush.
That's just crazy to me.
I know. And my brain knows what it's supposed to taste like. Like the flavor profile is saved in my brain.
And so, what percentage of people do you fall in that this like happened to?
Like
Isn't it like really low?
3%,
Yeah.
1 to 3%, I believe.
Yeah, so you're just like super lucky
Yeah,
in the
super
unlucky
lucky.
category.
It, from what I've read, there's that small subset of people. It could be years. Like I'm in that category of they don't know if it'll ever come back. And I've heard, I've done everything almost. I've burned the oranges. I've smacked my head. I've burned what other shit. I've done a bunch of goofy stuff. Um, I was told to get zinc
Okay.
meltaways, like not capsules, the zinc meltables, because then it becomes bioavailable quicker. Whatever, I don't know. I'm I'm no nutritionist. I'm no doctor, but apparently zinc is
Did my sister tell you this?
no. It
Oh.
does sound like something your sister would say,
It
but
absolutely does.
this was my sister
Oh.
and also my mother.
Oh, okay.
Both of which also had messed up taste and smell.
Which would honestly make sense because obviously, like DNA biologically, you're obviously similar enough that it makes sense that a disease would affect you all similarly.
Yeah. My sister especially. She has similar like flavor profile changes. Like
Okay.
the charcoal.
Mm-hmm.
Charcoal's such a wrong word. Fried food tastes like old. I don't know how to explain it. Like when you fry something in old oil, but everything fried. And my sister's the same way. But yeah,
So did she do this and get her taste back?
I she said she noticed an improvement when she did it. My mother said that hers came back.
Hmm.
Whether that's, true or to what degree, I don't know. I don't know how zinc on its own. Apparently, whatever happens to your olfactory senses and whatever your brain, it needs zinc. And if you're not getting enough zinc in your diet, which most people, I did read, most people don't get enough zinc, then it's never replenished from when you had the virus. But one of the things that's high in zinc is seafood, and fucking Lord knows I eat enough seafood. I don't know how I could not be getting enough zinc eating 6 pounds of salmon a week, but
I don't know, but I will tell you that zinc tastes horrifyingly horrible.
well,
Which could be fine for you right now because you can't taste most things.
yeah, it might just.
But I forget what ailment I had, but one of my various ailments, my sister gave me zinc drops, and taking a dropper full of that, I preferred the ailment. I did it like twice and I was like, nope, I
Liquid?
will. Yeah.
From where?
Some voodoo cabinet she had. I don't know.
Voodoo cabinet?
She pulled it out of a cabinet.
Yes.
It was labeled zinc. She was like, take a, dropper full of this daily and it'll fix whatever. I forget what it was. I don't even remember what I told her was wrong with me. But, she came out with this and I did it twice and I was like, I would rather die of whatever this is than do that again.
Well,
and
a
I
lot of
threw it away.
people take it with colds.
Sure. I don't remember. I mean, because like I have like various afflictions, so I forget which thing I told her about. But she was like, "This will fix you right up." I'd rather die.
I think zinc. I know zinc is necessary.
Oh,
And I've
sure.
I've seen plenty of, powders and things
Hmm.
to combat cold and flu that have like vitamin C and zinc. So it doesn't scream batshit to me. Unlike if someone was like, "Oh, you have to get acupuncture and you have to put the needle right here in your third eye while rubbing your nipples and taking a shit." It's like, yeah, that's a little out there. A dropper of zinc, a little weird. Don't know where you get liquid zinc, but
Talk to my sister.
I mean, again, bioavailability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm sure. I mean, my sister, of course, all the best things. Um, I'm sure whatever she was directing me to do would have been super helpful. I just couldn't handle the taste. Like I would have rather died of whatever my affliction was, and obviously I'm still here, so
it worked.
it wasn't deadly enough, or those two droppers sure did fix me right on up.
It
So
worked.
it worked. We'll say that the zinc fixed whatever my problem was.
Yeah, it's got to get worse before it gets better.
Sure. Whatever
Well,
you say.
I almost bought the zinc. I didn't, but I almost did.
We should have told my sister today that you needed zinc. I'm sure she has
I
more
am
droppers.
not interested in drinking liquid zinc.
I just want what's best for you, babe.
I know you do. I'm gonna get the chewies, the melties.
I can't imagine that they taste any better.
I
No, again, not
I
that
think
you
they're
could probably taste
they're
it.
berry flavored.
Well, I would take some berry flavored over whatever that nightmare was that was in my mouth.
Well, yeah, she probably made it in a fucking bathtub or something. Like,
No, it was legit from the store, like labeled zinc drops.
well, it was probably just straight zinc.
Yes,
Like she bought it from like a chemical supply company.
maybe.
The one on Amazon is like blueberry or raspberry. I don't
Now I
know.
feel like I want to see if how readily available zinc drops are.
I don't know. I've
I'm gonna look.
liquid zinc seems like something you wouldn't get over the counter, but I didn't get them from Amazon because it was just too expensive. $20 for 2 weeks supply.
Yeah, like you can get a dropper full for $20 of zinc.
Yeah, but what is the dose? Like,
I
what
don't know.
is it?
What do you mean? What is it?
Well, how do you know how much you're taking? if all you have is a dropper, seems a little weird.
10 drops equals 15 milligram serving of zinc.
Oh, that's too much. I mean, the serving is good because they tell you to do 30 milligrams. One tablet of the berry zinc is 30 milligrams, I think. I'd have to look. Oh, yeah, that doesn't look sketchy. Yeah. Show me that other picture.
What other picture?
This looks like something you'd get
This
from
isn't.
Wish.
Well, I mean, I'm on Amazon right now, but
Right.
this isn't exactly what my sister gave me, but it's close enough or whatever.
I wouldn't trust it.
I'm just looking. I was just looking to see how easily available it is, and it's like $20 for. This would be. What did it say? Like 100 servings in one bottle of this.
Yeah.
So there you go, and it's 99% more, like readily absorbable.
Well, yeah, liquid. That's
Well, yeah,
immediate.
right. So we could fix you right on up.
At this point, I don't think zinc is gonna help.
You never say never.
Maybe I'll buy it when I get home. I'm over it. Like, I'm used to it now.
I think so there's some things about that are super weird to me because okay, every time I see you, I take one of your shirts either back home with me or I keep it here with me if you've come here, whichever. because I like to have something that smells like you until our next visit.
Hmm.
So I think that it's so weird that, like, technically you have no idea what I smell like.
Yeah, I do. I told you that.
Well, kind
This
of.
shirt smelled like you. If you asked me what it was, I don't know. But I know it's you.
So, yeah, so kind of, but like not in the same way that like I know
What I
what
smell
you
like.
smell like
Right. I don't even know what I smell like.
anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things smell bad to me. So
Right, but
I'm in a
like
constant fear that I smell bad.
but what if that's all an illusion to your brain, and then what if like, so like right now you think that I smell good from what
No,
you,
I didn't say that.
what?
It's not an unpleasant smell. I just don't know what it is. It's you.
Right, which not unpleasant would generally mean okay, I guess.
Well, yeah, sure.
Right, so
It's not
then,
like a batch of fresh baked cookies.
well, no, I don't
It
smell
is a
like cookies.
smell that isn't off-putting.
Right. But that's what I mean. So like, but what if that's like an illusion, and like one day you wake up with your smell and all of a sudden I come over and you're
You
like,
smell like hot garbage.
yeah, and you're like, what is this dumpster fire that I'm,
Then you're changing your habits. I don't know what to tell you. One day I wake up
you're going to
and
gift me some perfume?
yeah, maybe a Bath and Body set. I don't know. But like, let's get a couple spurts of this. Let's try this out.
Let's try this one. Perfect.
I would have to assume that if I am cool with the smell that I'm smelling
Now.
that I associate you with,
Mm-hmm.
it would just be more pleasant if I
Yeah.
could smell. Very rarely would it be like, like nothing's been very drastic. There are certain things that I smell that I associate with other smells. Like I told you today, when I smell hairspray or like a overwhelming salon smell, I know it's weed because every time I've been in a situation where I'm like, what is this weird Aquanet smell? And it's weed.
Which is so weird because I I've never associated hairspray with a weed smell. Like,
Well, yeah, he didn't.
lose myself. I
He didn't
know,
have
but
brain
I'm saying,
damage.
but like, so that's weird to me because like
There is
there are so
no
many other
right.
things that like, yeah. So I'm like,
There's
how,
there's no rhyme or reason.
right. So, but that's what I mean. So like, if your smell came back all of a sudden, what would my smell be connected to for real? Because right now you're saying it's not unpleasant, but like, who knows what it really would amount to you. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I get complimented
Oh
at work
yeah,
in various
tell me
places.
all the compliments you get.
Whatever.
I love to hear about it.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Well, I just meant I don't to in general think that I stink. Is what I was
I
trying to
think
say.
most people don't think that they stink.
Oh, I'm sure there are some people that have to know.
I think there are most people who do stink don't think they stink.
Okay, well, I would hope that those people never get complimented on the way that they smell.
Well,
Or those people are horrible people for complimenting them and making the rest of us suffer.
some people like their own stank. What can I say?
Sure.
Pheromones and all that.
Sure.
It's game time.
It's game time.
It's game
All
time. You know, I'm going to get some royalty-free theme music for game times.
We need it.
Yeah, I do. I know.
So today we're playing Try Not to Laugh. And we're going to try and make each other laugh, telling bad jokes.
Yeah.
Am I going first? Or are you going first? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. So, but here's the thing. If you laugh at your own joke, then that's a point for me.
Oh, God. We didn't establish that rule in
I'm
advance.
establishing that rule.
Ooh, okay.
It doesn't matter what joke is being told. If you laugh, you lose a point.
Okay.
Okay.
That made it so much harder for me.
I know. You have to,
I hate
you have to keep
you
a straight face.
for making that rule. I don't have to keep a straight face. I can't laugh. There's a difference.
Right.
Okay. I need to center myself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Am I going first?
Sure.
Okay. Why was the guitar teacher arrested?
Why?
For fingering a minor. I can't. I'm gonna lose this game. Ooh, okay. So how does that? Because you left. You left too.
Ooh, that caught me off guard. We both. That's a
Is it
nothing.
just, are we still 0-0?
Yeah, 0-0.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh, all right. I picked that one special for you.
I tried to keep it in.
Okay. All right. Redo. Okay, you start.
Oh man, mine aren't dirty.
I told you I was picking dirty
and I
ones.
said you could, but
Yeah.
I just want you to know I'm keeping it clean
Oh, well, good for you.
for the most part.
Sure.
Okay. I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something.
I used that on joke time before.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to laugh at your own joke?
Nope.
I feel like you are.
Nope.
Hey, babe.
Yeah, babe.
What does the sign on an out of business brothel say?
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What does it say?
Yeah. Beat it. We're closed. I can't.
See? Maybe you shouldn't have started with the fucking bringing out the heat. Okay, 0-0. Going well.
Okay. Try again.
Today, my son asked, "Can I have a bookmark?" I burst into tears. 14 years old, he still doesn't know my name is Tony. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
I'm ready.
Why does Santa Claus? Okay, wait. Why does Santa Claus have such a big sack?
That doesn't count because you laughed and then I laughed. I'm laughing because you laughed.
Sure. Well, I didn't even tell you the joke yet.
Okay. Why does he have such a big sack? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why does Santa have such a big sack?
I don't know. Why?
He only comes once a year.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Still at it. Try again.
Whew. Where's my other one? What? Hold on. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Why are orphans bad at poker? They've never had a full house.
That's so sad.
So sad.
I'm going to try and get through one without laughing.
Please. I would love it.
Okay. But this one...
This should actually just be you telling jokes to see if you can get through them.
Yeah, it really should. This one's going to be really hard for me, so it's going to take all of my... Okay.
Yeah, I could tell. Yeah. Really
Okay.
putting on the game face.
What do the mafia and pussies have in common?
I don't know. What?
One slip of the tongue and you're in deep shit. Can't.
I didn't laugh.
Is that a point for you?
That's a point for
Woo!
me. Whew.
Got another one for me.
Oh, man. I got to go back to my list here. Oh, wrong list.
Oh, I think I'm going to get you on this next one.
Okay. I mean, mine are so tame. What's a vampire's favorite ship? A blood vessel?
You're laughing at your own joke. That's a point for me. We're back to even. We're back to even.
I thought it was cute.
It is cute. Hey, babe. What's the best part about sex with 28-year-olds?
I don't know. What?
There are 20 of them.
That's awful. That's terrible. What's the least spoken language in the world?
I don't know what.
Sign language.
It's messed up. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a Catholic priest and a zit?
What?
A zit will wait until you're 12 before it comes on your face.
Come on. Age restricted. Getting this podcast age restricted.
Mm.
Hold on.
I feel like the podcast should just be us doing this the whole time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I want one more, but I want to make it a good one.
Wait, are we each doing one? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, one
Yeah,
more
yeah.
round.
Yeah. Well,
Did you
back
start
and
or
forth.
did I start?
You started.
I started. So yeah, so you, me, and then you.
Right.
You need 2 more chicks.
Oh, I don't know if I've got two. None of these, I should have copied and pasted the ones.
Mm.
Wait. No, that's not. I don't know. I say you go, and then I think it should all ride on this.
Oh God,
Because
I
we're
have to pick
tied right now.
one.
We're tied.
Okay. All right, we're just gonna go with this one, and it's not my best.
No. Well, you blew your load early.
I did. What's the difference between your wife and your job?
What?
After 5 years, your job will still suck.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
Uh-huh.
5 years, huh? That's all I get?
5 years.
5 years.
Count them down.
Mark it in the calendar.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll forget.
Well, then you'll never know.
I know what I wanted to talk about. I remembered.
Oh, okay. Putting me on the spot. I
No.
love it.
This is an extension of the last podcast that we re-recorded the half of, and we forgot my brainstorm, like my solution.
Sure, yeah.
My solution to gun violence in schools.
Mm-hmm.
No more school. Well, no more school
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna have to be a
from
little more specific.
6th grade on,
Well,
junior high and on.
and not that there's no more in person
Yeah,
school.
no more
Virtual.
physical schools.
Yes. And that was one of the other things that I didn't mention earlier, but as far as like COVID goes, that's one of the other things that we found that like high school, kind of like your job, high school is perfectly able to be done remote
Oh yeah,
learning.
for sure.
The same with college. And middle school is not that far off the mark either. So I agree wholeheartedly. And whilst, yes, like there are still, even in this instance, this was at an elementary school in Texas. So there are still instances of elementary schools, but that it would, like we said, it would drastically bring down the amount of school shootings that
Well,
there are.
I mean, what's the easiest way to prevent people from getting shot at school? Don't go to school.
Yeah.
It's easy. Now, I understand that for a lot of parents, they have this is going to be a very controversial hot take.
Sure.
And I don't want to offend anybody,
I think we're going to go to the same
But-
place here.
but I'm going to offend you.
Sure.
School is not meant to babysit your children.
Yeah, and so that's exactly where I was about to go. So with COVID, so tying it back in, you saw just how much parents rely on the school system to be a babysitter. And it's one of the most frustrating things because a lot of parents don't want to test their kids also because then their kids have to do, now it's down to like 5-day quarantine, but at the time it was like 10 days plus, 75 more days for everybody in the household because, until they test positive or don't, and, all the things. So people didn't want their kids home. And a lot of that also circles back to, we rely on a 2-parent working household. There isn't a lot of stay-at-home parenting anymore like there used to be. That used to be the norm. Now it's flip-flopped, and now there isn't anyone to stay home with the kids. So that in and of itself presented a large problem for a lot of people, was that they had no care at home. So like even for me, I was, working. So even, thank goodness Giuseppe, to my knowledge, has never had COVID, but had he and needed to stay home, either I would have had to use sick days or he would have had to stay home alone. And thankfully, because he's older, I could have left him there alone. But if I had young children as a single mom, that would have been a huge problem for me to have to navigate and deal with. So I feel like at the beginning of the pandemic, you saw a lot of people desperately wanting schools to reopen for the daycare factor. And then there was like a brief moment where teachers actually got like a lot of, respect for how important of a role we serve. And then it went right back to, really, we just need you to, be babysitters and, be there. But, we're going to dump everything and anything on you and not, pay you for it and blah, 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 like whatever. So it kind of was like a very quick spike of like, we got like a hot minute of recognition and then back to nothing.
Yeah, I think that's why it should be junior high and above.
Mm-hmm.
I think earlier grades, when you're early development, that stuff should probably be done, in a classroom, learning about, my toys, your toys, early development stuff.
Sure.
But once you get to like the junior high age,
Well, and even for like handwriting purposes, like there's a lot of things, and not that, parents couldn't go out and buy paper and pencil and, whatever, but there's a lot of things that it's easier to do face to face with small kids than it is to do over like a Zoom lesson or whatever. And even for teaching articulation, like not that you can't see somebody's lips moving on a screen, but like there's just something different in person to that than there would be like through a Zoom. So yes, for like little kids like learning to read and write, I absolutely think that they still need to be in school, but middle school on up, I think wholeheartedly they could very easily do everything virtually. And I mean, there's so many programs out there. Even like I said, like I put together all kinds of programming for special education students to accommodate them and use adaptations and modifications and whatever that would make them successful even virtually. So like there's really not any reason to have them face to face.
I think the only exceptions
Mhm.
would be special needs cases.
Right. And but it would have to be what we call, and I know every state calls different diagnoses different things, but like we call it like multiple disabilities. Like those students that have such severe disabilities that it would impede them. Yes, absolutely. But like my students just have like ADHD and, bipolar and things like that. Like my kids could absolutely still log in and do Zooms. Now,
Sure.
would they need like breaks and maybe the schedule wouldn't look the same of like, oh, you have to log in from, 8 to 3 every day? Sure. But that's all stuff that can be worked around. They can log in, I can do direct instruction, and then they can do the like work on your own part whenever they want, as long as it gets done, by the due date or whatever. That's totally feasible versus like you said, yes, absolutely. If there's, I mean, we have some students that we're literally like the multiple disability kids that we're literally working on helping teach them how to feed themselves. There's no way to do that, on Zoom.
Not
So,
yet.
well, right. But, so like those kids, absolutely, they need to come in because they're getting totally different types of education than like what my kiddos are. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, high school's a sham, right?
for sure.
Like we can all agree that the high school only exists for one reason. You can't put a 14-year-old in college.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like basically high school is this weird gap of adolescence to adulthood because no 14-year-old could be prepared for a, because think of it this way. Let's say we cut out high school.
Mhm.
High school's over. Because
Sure.
what do you do the first semester in college anyway?
All your gen eds.
Relearn everything you learned in high school,
Mhm.
but in a very abbreviated time period.
Sure.
Now, I didn't go to college for very long,
Mhm.
but the time I was there, I did notice that, you know, all your gen eds and everything. I'm like, this is all stuff we went over in high school.
Yeah.
Anyways, we abolish high school.
Mhm.
You go straight from 8th grade to college. Okay? Then you got 4 years of college. So you're 14-ish going into college.
Mhm.
You get out of college at 18. Who's going to take an 18-year-old seriously? Like, could you see an 18-year-old leaving college and then, like, going into the medical field, even though that would be longer than 4 years. But
Mhm.
nursing school, how long does nursing school? 4 years?
Sure.
Could you imagine an 18-year-old being your nurse?
Well, and so I don't know. I would have to do research and whatever, but I know, like, for instance, in Japan, there is only like we have what's called FAPE, which is free appropriate public education. And that's why kids have to go to school because we have to serve FAPE. But in Japan, school only goes up to 8th grade. And then you take an exam, and if you pass, you're able to go on. I don't think they call it high school, but you're able to go on to, like, I want to say they call it university. You're able to go on to the next level of schooling. And if you don't pass it, you're expected to go immediately into the workforce unless you come from a wealthy family, in which case they can choose to buy your way into high school. And so I think we have so many issues with like dropouts and, kids that just don't want to be there and whatever, that I think that would be the much better alternative, where you're not forcing these kids through another 4 years of unwanted education and hindering the ones that do want the education. And I mean, I think there's so many like benefits to that. And so just put them in the workforce. There's nothing wrong with,
At 14?
for like, yeah, go flip your burgers.
I don't know.
I mean, you're allowed to start working at 14 or 15, whatever, now anyways.
No.
Yes, you can.
Maybe in certain states, maybe.
Yeah, here you can. You can get your work permit here.
Out by me, it's 15, but you can't work past like 8 p.m. It's something goofy.
No,
and
it's
then,
like 10 p.m. here. I
yeah,
think.
it's something real goofy. But I do know that they changed it during COVID. They changed it because nobody wanted to flip burgers.
Yeah.
So a lot of places were
hurting,
waiving the age restrictions. But I think you do a hybrid. You get rid of high school, garbage, worthless. You take a test. If you pass, then you can go on to further your education. If you fail, then you are routed to union or public service or trade, and or military, which, hey guys, I love America, but that's dumb. Don't do that. Sorry. Like, I'm all about the flag and freedom, but joining the military is the stupidest fucking thing you can do with your life. Sorry. That's going to offend people, but it's stupid. You want to know why it's stupid?
Why?
Wow, this is going to be a whole different thing. I have nothing against people who join the military. I have nothing against having a military. I don't even have anything against spending trillions of dollars on our military. What I have a problem with is most people that join the military join it because they don't think they have any other option, because the system has made them feel like they have nothing else. You're too dumb to go to college. You're too poor to do this and get a trade or something. Most people join the military for the wrong reason. If you're joining the military because you love your country, you want to serve, tensions are high over in Russia and Ukraine or whatever, and you feel the impending doom and you want to fight for your country, you're doing it for the right reason. And you're the type of person I want in my military. What I don't want in my military is the guy who is like, well, can't afford to go to school, don't want to flip burgers, too dumb to use a measuring tape. Give me a gun. And then they go, and then you ask them, well, why did you join the military? And they're like, I had nothing else. That's what I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So you take your test. You're either too dumb or whatever, and it routes you accordingly. Get rid of high school. High school should be used for young adults to figure out what the fuck they're going to be in the world.
Sure.
How they're going to grow up, what they're going to do. Right now, high school serves two purposes. Raise suicide rates in teens and give a place for people to come and shoot them. And gives people jobs, obviously, teachers and stuff, which is good. But realistically, you could wipe that shit off the map.
Mm-hmm.
Because, there are a lot of things that you could look at from high school, like, programs and athletics, and those are good. I'm not going to knock those, but too much of like college acceptance rates and things are put on the wrong things, wrong categories.
Yeah.
What did you do? How much money do you have? Grades aren't even the primary source of people getting into college anymore. But anyways, get rid of high school. And then let them figure out who they're going to be. Mm-hmm. And then kind of like Japan, but
Yeah. No, I that's what I'm saying. Like Japan is one I know for sure. I'm sure there are many other countries that have similar programs and things where after 8th grade, whatever, I would have, like I said, I would have to do my research, but for sure, I think there's way better options than what we do. 100%.
Sure.
So
We're at time.
perfect.
Well, I hope I didn't offend everybody.
Yeah. As the subscribers drop to 0.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
fuck the military, fuck teachers, school. Hey, I'm just being honest. I want to make it very clear. I am pro-America and I am pro-guns. Trump 2024. Okay.
Oh my God. I don't want to be on this podcast anymore.
Oh, you think he'll run again?
I don't know.
We should predict it. Predict it here. Yeah, it's a tough one. Well, Biden's not.
He's crazy enough to do it.
Trump?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
for sure.
That's not the question.
Well, you
He
said, do you think he'll do it?
Yeah, but
Or do I think he'll win?
No,
Is
no,
that what you
no,
mean?
no.
Oh, then what are we asking?
No. What I'm asking is, do you think that he will run again based on him being crazy?
Oh, for sure.
Right. Like we all know he's capable of it.
Yeah.
If he runs against Biden, oh my God, that would be hilarious. Because Biden's approval is so low.
Yes.
It's going to be the 2 lowest. Like, that's the worst.
But I mean, you're here in Pennsylvania right now, and you've driven around, and you've seen
A lot of pro-Trumps.
the Trump flags still flying proudly.
Yep.
You've seen the anti-Biden billboards.
Yeah.
By companies, no less. It's not even, like a Joe Schmo paid some money for a billboard. Like, it's actual companies that are paying for these billboards here.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I would hate to see what would come of that.
Yeah. That's rough. Well, we'll see in 2 years.
Yeah. Tune in 2 years.
Yeah,
to
we'll
find
we'll
out.
see. If gas is $9 a gallon by then, and Trump's gonna run on. That's gonna be his
lowering his platform.
Yes, that's gonna be his platform.
Lowering gas prices.
Gas under $2. Everybody would.
Well, everybody would vote for
Everybody
that.
would vote. All right. Well, I'm Tony.
And I'm Tralana.
This is 2 T's in a Pod, and we will see you next week. Bye.